Hey everybody, welcome to another chapter of the Book of Sean. It's good to see you people. How you doing? I'm excited about the show today. We got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to have a good time. My dear brother Ricky is here, and he's had a journey. Huh? You heard what the scriptures say. Sometimes you got to spend time down in the valley of the shadow of death. And that's where he's had to go more than once. He has a remarkable story to tell. You're going to be inspired. You're going to be affected and hopefully enlightened by what he and I come up with together. Now, let me tell you right now, this story is about grief. And you can't fix grief in 20 minutes. So don't make that your expectation. We're not here to fix Ricky. We're here to give his sorrow voice and articulation. And I'm hoping to inspire him to believe in some things again, to reach for some things again, because that is what I do. We're going to do some Ask Dr. Sean. Well, let's do some headlines, people, because there's a lot going on in the world. Play the bumper, Hailey. So let's talk about the slap heard around the world. You knew I was coming to that. Come on, y'all. Dig in, settle in, get you some pie. Let's talk about the slap heard around the world. So let me get this straight, because I've seen this all over social media where some people, most of them with toxic masculinity, were saying Will Smith was defending his wife, standing up for his family. Okay, let's say that he was. Now you explain to me, how is it that his wife needed to be defended against a joke? She needed to be defended against a joke? So his wife can have an entanglement, but she can't take a joke. Here's what I don't understand, okay? Here's what I don't understand. So you, Will Smith, you are mad at another man making fun of your wife's hair, but you apparently was not sufficiently upset about another man allegedly having a sexual relationship with your wife. Your priorities are not together, sir. If jokes piss you off more than your wife having an entanglement, allegedly, you need Jesus. Here's what I wanted to say about Chris Rock and Will Smith. You ready? I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about none of this foolishness, okay? It is, and I'm inviting you not to care about it too. I'm inviting you not to care about rich people doing what crazy rich people stuff. Stop, because Chris Rock and Will Smith are not going to pay your bills. If you ask them, they won't pay your rent. And figuring out if that moment was real or fake is not going to make your relationship any better. It's not going to get your kids out of college. It's not going to pay for their college. You got to focus on the things that you're trying to do in the life that you're trying to build, because your life deserves your attention. And you ought to give all of your attention to the things that you're trying to accomplish, not to some celebrities that need Jesus. Just because you're rich doesn't mean you don't need deliverance. You hear what I say unto you? That's how my mama would say that. Folks standing around slapping the hell out of each other. This is crazy, man. Yeah, but here's the serious part, then I'm done. Obviously, there's something going on with Will Smith, because you can't go from kind of laughing at a joke to being totally enraged about a joke in that short amount of time. Something else is going on with the brother. So we ought to pray for him. This is why I don't watch award shows. I don't watch none of them. The Oscars, the Grammys, the Emmys, none of that. I don't watch rich people congratulating other rich people and telling each other how wonderful they are. I just don't watch it. And I'll tell you why. To me, it promotes a culture of idolatry. So we worship celebrities no matter what they do. So we all wanted the Oscars to be more black, right? But I don't think this is what we meant. So how about we move on? Oh, this is a new segment that I'm starting without the permission of anybody connected to my show. Which means I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I don't care. This new segment is called, we don't have a bumper, so Hailey can't play it. It's called Trina Was Right. Trina is my executive producer, and I talked to her this weekend, and we had a great conversation. She said to me, this is how she talked. Dr. Sean, I don't think the audience cares anymore about Russia and Ukraine. And I thought about it, and this is why we call the segment, Trina Was Right. I know y'all are tired of hearing about Russia and Ukraine, so we vow, okay, this hand, we vow that we are not going to do any more Russian and Ukrainian stories unless something really big blows up. Now, if something really big blows up, all bets are off. So if Russia uses a nuclear bomb to blow up Kyiv, I'm probably going to have to talk about that, okay? But other than that, we absolve ourselves from the responsibility to blab on about Russia and the Ukraine. So you're welcome, people, because I know all of you are celebrating and clapping about it. You're welcome. Don't thank me. Thank Trina, because Trina was right. Let's move on. Let's talk about Mackenzie Scott. All right, Mackenzie Scott, as most of you know, is the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, who's the founder of Amazon, and she has donated $3.8 billion to 465 organizations. That is a lot of money. $3.8 billion. And so I was thinking maybe Miss Mackenzie might watch this show. I was thinking maybe she might watch this show. I don't know. All right? Don't y'all laugh either, by the way, because you never know. And if you don't shoot your shot, that's how you don't get the score. So I was thinking maybe Mackenzie might watch this show, and maybe in the event that she watches this show, I would make a plea for some of them dollars. Okay? Now, if you had a show, you can make your play. I get to have this one. So here's my play for some of the money that Mackenzie's giving away. All right? Listen, her ex-husband, Jeff Bezos, gave Van Jones $100 million. So if her ex-husband can give Van Jones $100 million, then why can't the ex-wife give Dr. Sean $100 million? Huh? Y'all know I'm doing my good talking right now. So Miss Mackenzie Scott, if you're watching tonight, let me explain to you what I would do with some of the money, okay? This is my plea. I'm shooting my shot. Let's see what happens. All right, everybody tap in. Here's the first thing I do. So first thing I would do, I would set up a scholarship for graduates of HBCUs to go to graduate school to get graduate degrees for free. Okay? So everybody who graduated from HBCU who wanted to go to graduate school, not everybody, but a large number of people, I would pay for their graduate education. And here's why. We need more doctors, we need more lawyers, we need more scholars, we need more scientists, we need more philosophers. Everybody can't be a rapper and a basketball player, okay? Everybody can't be on TikTok. At some point, we're going to saturate that market. And I want to give scholarships to graduates of HBCUs to get a graduate education. Come on, clap for that, because you know that's good. Here's the second thing I would do. Miss Mackenzie, if you're watching, I would give all of the civil rights organizations some money. I'm talking about Black Lives Matter, Rainbow Push Coalition, the National Action Network, the Urban League, NAACP, the Legal Defense Fund of the NAACP, the National Council of Negro Women. I would give all the civil rights organizations money because clearly we still need them, okay? We still need them. So they all getting money from me, all right? And if, in the same way, some folks fund these right-wing conservative think tank crazy places, I'm going to fund civil rights organizations. But here's the last thing I would do, not the last thing, but the most interesting I would do, Miss Mackenzie Scott, if you would be so kind as to grace me with $100 million. Here's what I would do. I would create, you listen to this, Steve-O? I would create the black version of the Nobel Prize. Come on. I would give $1 million to the best scientists, the best writers, the best artists, the best, by artists, I don't just mean like drawing, I mean like singers, rappers, dancers. I would give $1 million to black excellence. $1 million to black folks for being excellent, because excellence still matters. You know how I know? Because we on TV at the Oscars slapping people in the face. So apparently we need to get back to some excellence and not just fame. Anyway, let's change gears. Governor Spencer Cox is the governor of the state of Utah, and recently he vetoed the athletes' transgender bill that would bar transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports. And if you've not had a chance to read what he wrote, I want to invite you to Google what Governor Spencer Cox wrote when he vetoed this bill. Now, let's be clear before you get all sanctimonious and holy and pull out your Bible and your scripture. And I'm probably not the person you should do that with, because I know Greek and Hebrew and Aramaic, so you should probably chill on that. But before you pull out your Bible, I don't care what side of the issue you're on. What I care about is the kind of empathy and compassion that Governor Cox showed members of the LGBTQ community, and he's a Republican. I don't often have a lot of good things to say about Republicans because Republicans often get on my damn nerves. But Governor Cox displayed the kind of compassion and empathy that I have rarely seen from an American politician in a long time. He talked about how he did not want to add more burdens on young people who are trying to figure themselves out and just trying to find a place to belong. See, sometimes you ought to think about how what you're doing is going to affect the people that you're doing it to, and not just how much right you may be or how good it makes you feel. Because here it is, being right is not enough. Just because you're right on the issue doesn't make you right on the issue. Because at the end of the day, if your righteousness ruins other people's lives, then it's not right. And it's certainly not righteousness. So shout out to Governor Spencer Cox. I want to thank this dear governor, this Republican governor, for caring about people who are different than him. And maybe more of us will follow his example. What y'all think about that? Think about that, Steve-O. Let's move on, people, because there's a lot going on in the world. Let's talk about the Census Bureau. This one is for you, my dear brother. This one is for Steve-O. And for all the millennials out there. Lock in right here, baby. Lock in right here. So the Census Bureau reported, check this out, that 3/4 of U.S. counties reported more deaths than births last year. He said, damn. So the point is that there's been a dramatic slowing down of the population in this country. And another study separately found, not from the Census Bureau, but another study separately found and reported that people are having less sex. People are having less sex. And in the same study, it reported that young people are not masturbating as much as they used to. So y'all ain't having sex and you're not masturbating? That explains a lot. It explains why y'all are slapping people on award shows and on airplanes. Wait a minute, man. What are y'all doing? Y'all not having sex and y'all ain't masturbating? So no pleasure, huh? No pleasure. You just on TikTok gyrating and being stupid, but no pleasure. Okay? Come on, people. I'm not a sex therapist, just to be clear. I am not a sex therapist. I'm not qualified to give sexual advice or sex advice. I'm just an American. I'm just a black man and an American. And let me tell you to your face, not having orgasms is not healthy. It ain't healthy. You may not be getting some with nobody else, but you ain't even giving yourself no joy? Come on now. I need y'all to come back and come on now. Come on, please. Pleasure is important. Let me tell you a story. My sons are going to kill me for telling this story, but y'all don't know who they are. My sons, okay, we caught them, doing what boys do. And he was so embarrassed. I was like, bro, what's the problem? Get yours. Enjoy yourself, okay? Just keep it in your room. There's no shame. And I told him, everybody you know masturbates. Everybody you know masturbates. Everybody in your life, around your life, and all your friends are whack it off. Apparently, not so much anymore. Oh, my brother and my sister, don't be afraid to give yourself some joy, okay? Because you need it. It's important. You deserve it. I got time for one more? All right, let me do one more. So, let's talk about Meryl Pittman Cooper. This is a great story. Meryl Pittman Cooper is a dear brother who had to drop out of high school because his family had to move to Philadelphia for financial reasons. He went to high school from 1934 to 1938, and he had to drop out his senior year. Mr. Cooper is 101 years old. He's the man in the robe. First of all, could you put the other picture up of him, Mr. Cooper? Just put the other picture up, the close-up one. First of all, if that's what 101 looks like, I need to do whatever he's doing. Because that man, he's 101 and looks like that. I bet you he's masturbated. I bet you. I'm just saying, that guy looks amazing. He looks amazing at 101. And he just, here's the point of the story, received his high school diploma after all these years. He dropped out in 1938, and he just received his high school diploma. Here's my word for your soul. Is your soul ready? Tell your soul to get itself ready. Opportunity never gets old, my friends, and you can't miss what's waiting on you. And if you keep going and keep striving and keep believing and keep working, somehow, some way, you're going to get what you want out of life. If you grab life with both your hands and refuse to let go, it may take a season, it may take a decade, It may take 30 decades, but before it's all over, you're going to squeeze everything you were born to have. And don't you let nobody tell you differently. Life will find a way, and love will find a way, and you will find a way. I'm convinced of that. So this is for all the dreamers and for all the men and women. Y'all hold on. Keep on fighting, because by the time it's all over, you're going to get what you deserve. Woo! Let's go to break, people. I'm fired up. Welcome back, everybody. So if you are, it doesn't matter how old you are. Let me just be clear about that. All of us, before it's all over, we're going to lose somebody that we love. And loss is a part of life. You don't get to avoid it. You don't get to obfuscate. And quite frankly, you don't get to hide. If you love someone, the price you pay for love is that you have to reconcile yourself to the fact that one day you will lose them or they will lose you. And when that happens, what do? How do you manage? How do you go on? How do you find a reason to get out of the bed in the morning? That's what my dear brother Ricky is going to help us discover tonight. Welcome to the show tonight, Ricky McNeely. Hey, Ricky, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic today, man. How you doing over there?
I'm doing good. Thank you for your energy.
Sure. My pleasure.
Yes, yes. So listen, I want to, this conversation to me is sacred space. It's sacred ground because we're talking about people that you love and people that I know you care about. And I want you to know that you're in good hands. You're in safe hands.
Okay.
And so let your heart speak, because the more your heart speaks, the more people can hear what it is you have to say. So I'll begin with this. Your mother passed away from cancer in 2003. Tell me,
Yes.
tell me, what did your mom mean to you?
Hey, my mom, well, my whole family is my rock. My father, he's still around. He's a veteran of 26 years of the Air Force. So, he's a veteran. I'm currently serving right now. So I got that connection with him. But mom was always that glue. Mom was the one that really kept in line and, kind of gave me a direction of the right and the wrong. Because, mama kind of knows best. I hate to say it like that. I know fathers are cool, but mama got that little bit of an edge. And she knows a little bit more things, in my opinion, that keeps us on our path that we carry. So mom was very instrumental. She was my rock of Gibraltar. She was my zenith. She was my utopia. And I'll never forget her. She's always going to be a part of me wherever I go.
Yeah, there's a special, just tell me if you agree with this. There's a special connection between a black man and his mama.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The black woman has always been the cornerstone of a lot of things in our culture. I'm not trying to discredit the black men. I'm saying just black moms are just that, and we have a lot of respect for a lot of women in our society and a lot of women in our communities. Black moms are just strong. Black moms matter, so just she was a phenomenal person, just a woman who loved everybody, loved me unconditionally, and always got you back in line. The day I stuck my tongue out at my mom in church, I never did that again. I'm surprised I got all my teeth in my head right now.
Yeah, listen.
Don't play.
Listen, for everybody that's watching tonight who have not, as of yet, lost a parent, let's go there. Tell everybody what it feels like to lose your mom.
It feels like somebody has tied a rock to you or a chain to you and threw you in a river. You can't breathe. You can't get up. You can't get back to that surface, because life was always life as we know it. And we know we're not here to stay. And I realize that, I know we're not going to be on this planet forever. There's a higher power, heaven's waiting on all of us. But the thing is, cancer came in and it robbed her. It took a part of her away. That.
Yeah. Yes.
It stole it from me.
Yeah.
She never smoked and she didn't drink, but she had lung cancer. And 16% of people who try to live healthy will get it. So there's no medical definition to why she got it. But the doctors say we're going to have to deal with it as if, she did that lifestyle. She never did. So it stole it from me.
Yeah. I listen. I honor what you're feeling right now. Yeah, no, no. Listen, it's yeah. I honor what you're feeling right now. Um, I lost my mom in 2015, and so I when I lost my mom, one of the things I immediately said to myself was, who can I run to now? Like, where can I go?
Well, I got my family that I can always run to, and I got the real friends because death gonna make those real friends come out. You're gonna realize who's there for you,
Yeah,
who's not there for you. Death has a funny way of doing what it does. Uh, those will say things in your face and talk behind your back, like the preacher said at service. Don't say you're gonna be there for them. Be there for them.
yeah,
Don't say you're gonna do something. Just go ahead and do it.
yeah. But Ricky. Let me ask you this. Tell me what you miss most about your mom.
Um, I missed what she wanted me to do on the positive road. What I mean by that is a few things in life she wanted me to do. She wanted me to be in the service. I'm in the service.
Mm.
She wanted me to have a successful career as an entertainer because I'm a bass player and I play in bands. I love music. I'm being a DJ, stuff like that. She said, if you're going to be the best, be the best. But the main thing she wanted was for me to finish college.
Mm.
And I did
Yeah.
after she died. Hardest thing was she wasn't there when I crossed that stage.
Mm.
My family, my brother, my nephew, niece, everybody was there who said, hey, one day you're going to do this because education is key. And the reason I went back to school was, number one, she told me to. Before she died, and number two, President Mrs. Obama said, if I can be president, you can get an education. Education is key. We're strong on, putting the community to study, to learn. And I said, if it takes me a while to get it, I'm going to get it. Mm. So I crossed the stage in 2014. I took her picture and I took this cross that she had on the day she died as a gift from my father to her. And I said, Mom, let's do this. Let's cross the stage together.
Mm. I mean, it's such a beautiful story, and what I love about what you are doing is that you are honoring your mother tonight with your tears, and here's what I tell people, Ricky, and just tell me what you think about this. I tell people when people see other people cry that the tears are real because the love was real.
It was real all the way. I didn't cry as much the day she died as the day we had the service, because that's when reality hits you, when you see him like that. And that wasn't her. The spirit was gone. Body was here. But she left that thing. She didn't need it anymore. She did a purpose. I get that. I understand that. But all this time, I'm still thinking, the fulfillment, because I do and I have received the college degree. I mean, she just says a minimal thing. I will take you places, but I want all my children to have that. And I know that she would have that big smile on her face.
Yeah.
To see me accomplish not only what she wanted, but my self-fulfillment, that we can do whatever, like you said, you put your mind to it, you can do it. It may take your time for that journey, but I came through. I came, and they can't take this paper away from me. My father graduated from the same college I did. He was there too. The pride of his reaction to see that accomplishment.
Yeah, Ricky, listen, Ricky, hold on, Ricky. Do me a favor. First, just take a deep breath. Take a really deep breath. Inhale, exhale, real deep for me. Go ahead. Just take a deep breath for me. No, do it again, because I didn't see you do it. Take a deep breath. There you go. Take a deep breath, because I just want to make sure that we manage this in such a way, because there's more to your story that I want people to get, right?
Oh yeah.
Because listen, you lost your girlfriend to cancer in 2018.
Yes, sir, I did.
Talk about that. I mean, I don't know any other way to ask it. Just tell me what happened.
Heather and I were together for the most part, off and on, for 8 years. And when I met her, I thought she was exceptional. She had a spirit about herself, and she had a humorous side, and a very sweet side, a loving side too, that made me attractive to her, made my attention go that way. Of course, we struck up a friendship, struck up a relationship. But all this time, I knew that she had a physical problem. She was actually diagnosed with colitis at an early age. She knew she had it. So it wasn't that we were not used to her not having an ailment, but over the years, things weren't working in her favor. But long story short is, she never had colitis. It turns out she had Crohn's. Her doctor told her, whoever was treating you mistreated you. It wasn't your fault. And the medicines and the therapy that they had, it turned a cancer into her colon because they mistreated it. So they went to examine that part of the, colon. And she didn't have one tumor. She actually had 5. So it was worse than they thought, but they figured it out once they got in there. Of course, it went to where it went. And when it got to her stomach, there's not much they could do about that except for keep it there. They had medicines to keep it down. It wasn't spreading, but it didn't, go any further. As long as she took her treatments, they could keep it right there. But she missed the treatment because of her insurance. Insurance did not pay for the treatment she needed. I'm not going to talk about that right now.
That just broke my heart. Like that, keep going, but that broke my heart. Woo.
So, she missed it. And when it missed, of course, cancer's going to do what cancer's going to do. I heard from her mother she was going into a hospice, but I called her when I found it out. She told me, she said, I'm not going in the hospice. So I took her word for it. But the next day she announced it on her social media that she was going to do the hospice. So I called her and said, how long did that doctor give you? Because the doctor gave my mother X amount of time. How much time do you have? She says he gave me 6 months. With this 6 months, my intention was to actually marry her and make the last part of her life the best I could. She didn't live 6 months. She lived 10 days. 10 days. And during that 10 days is when I found out the last time I saw her, we were supposed to go to the movies with her children from her first marriage and have whatever time we could have. And no one answered the phone. So I went over there to find out what was going on. And it turns out she was on a breathing machine. And I'll never forget how she looked. She didn't look well. She had dark circles. Her skin wasn't right. She didn't have enough strength to even speak to me properly. So I just knew it wasn't going to be but too long that she didn't have long on this earth. And it was that Saturday, I got a text from her mother. And her mother said, she's too weak to tell you because she's in a coma right now. But she wanted you to know that you were good for her. It's the last thing she said before she went up was that she could say that she could actually get out of her mouth that she said, I want him to know that he was good for me. And that was that Saturday. And Sunday, her oldest son texted me. And he said, I want to make sure I got the right number. I said, I know what you're going to tell me. He says, I can't tell you anything right now. I just want to make sure I got your number. That's all he said. That was at 10 o'clock that morning. And at 2 p.m., it was announced on Facebook by her ex-husband that she had been home.
Yeah. Ricky, listen, I got to take a break. And I want to give you an opportunity just, to feel and to sort of, and to center. Listen, everybody, if you're not moved, it's just because you don't have feelings. When we come back, I want to talk to Ricky about how do you deal with it when you're going through the same thing again, when you have to relive this experience, and how do you manage your way through the grief? We're on sacred ground, people. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're having a very special conversation tonight with Ricky McNeely about the loss of his mother in 2003 to cancer, and then the loss of his girlfriend also to cancer in 2018. And it has been, without question, an emotional and substantive conversation. And I want to welcome you back to it. Ricky, let me ask you this, man. And I couldn't wait to ask you this question because I was one of the things I try to do is I try to put myself in people's shoes. Like I really try to practice empathy. And here's the thing I couldn't figure out. When you realized you were going back through this cycle with cancer again, did you think? Like, what came to your mind?
What came in my mind was the knowledge that I acquired through my mother's situation, because there's preventative care that could possibly have prolonged her life or, help the cancer. We didn't have this knowledge of like food is medicine. Mother was not the person that ate a lot of fruits and vegetables, and they tell us that all the time. A lot of us as African Americans, we don't eat a lot that we need, and that is a big cancer fighter. It's an antioxidant. I didn't know that word until they explained to us, nutritionists said this is what will fight a lot of these things. And, we didn't have that opportunity, but we had the knowledge after it was over. With Heather, I was telling her, these things we might look into alternative stuff, the food, like I said, CBD, because she was big into that. And the doctor told her some of the things she tried helped a little, like it shrunk some tumors as she had traditional medications and chemo and stuff. Was it too late? Probably so, or maybe because she was misdiagnosed. But the thing is, I gave her that knowledge that I learned through the American Cancer Society. I'm heavy into them and working with them since my mother passed away. I've done a lot of festivals with them, some for free, because it's not really about the money. It's about making people well and not going through what we had to go through. So I gave her all that stuff that I learned and said, let's use this and see what it can do.
But Ricky, let me ask. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to ask you this. You didn't say it, so I'm going to just ask it. You never thought, like, why me? Why is this happening again? Was there rage? Was there anger?
A little bit of anger, but a lot more disappointment and a lot of caution, because they tell us when you hear cancer, don't panic. Well, that's what they tell us. There's a 21% increase of people living nowadays, opposed to what it was back in 2003. I've seen the data, I've seen the testimony, I've seen the people with alternative treatments, the hospitals that have them. Our technology is so much better. People will die of cancer, but not as many with what we've learned. So, yes, I was upset about it, but at the same time, there's more hope now than there was then. And there really is a lot more hope now in most situations. And some things just not going to be helped. But she wasn't as honest with me. She didn't tell me all the details. She told me enough. But that was her personal choice to tell me what she told me until it came down to this is what's really going on. Maybe she didn't want me to worry as much. Yeah. So I'm looking at it that way. She withheld things from me that I was not told until the very end.
I understand. I know you lost her in 2018. It's obviously 2022. Where are you with your heart? Where are you with meeting people, dating? Where are you with that?
My heart is not as heavy, but it still has an anchor. And I know I can't, everybody says you got to move on. Like Dad says, he moved on. We don't have to move on. We got to move forward. We have to not be in a situation where we can tolerate it, because it's going to happen whether we like it or not. We don't have that power to turn back, but we, must find an avenue to coexist with what has happened and what it's to be. But I learned that I can't compare every woman to Heather. As Dad would tell me, in Mom's situation, you're going to find some people who are actually better than who your mom was. And you're going to find a lot of people who's never going to be in that caliber, but you're never going to find that one that's just there. You can't. She's one in a million. That one is gone. And if you keep saying this one's not like Heather, that one's not like Heather, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to find people that have come close. I find it a little difficult to get that security with someone again, because 8 years is 8 years. That's longer than some people have been married, man.
Yeah,
8 good years.
That's true.
We never had an argument.
That's true. That's very true. No, those are all of those are facts. And if I'm hearing you correctly, what I'm hearing you tell all of us is that you're not there yet. You're not there. You are healing. You're moving forward in a sense, but you're not ready yet to engage in all of the things that you need to be able to engage in and sacrifice and open up to, right? To let someone in. And here's my question. Here's my companion question. Tell all of us tonight what most of us get wrong about grief.
What most of us get wrong about grief is that people can write books about it. People can give you advice about it. You will do what you do differently than most folks. Once you experience it, you've broken the ice. So when it will happen again, because like Father said, if it's not going to happen around you, it's going to happen to you. In other words, if somebody's not dead, you might be the one that's died, and we move on, and people will have to, deal with that. But, you have time to reflect on the things that you will say, I should have did this differently, or I should have said that to that person. It's a lot of regret. What I did to mom, or bad things I might have said or done, you can't correct that. That's part of life. We're going to fail. We're going to succeed and all that stuff. What you need to do is say, look, that was that. The person forgives you because she knows you're not perfect. But what would they want you to do that's positive for you going forward?
Yeah. That
would be my career. That would be the military. Focus on having the best, DJ shows, having the best military this, having the sense of pride when you go out to have your head up high, your clothes on. Mom was big with that. She didn't allow the sagging and all that other stuff, the gold t-shirts. No, we're not going to have that. You represent your father and I. And when you're out there, you'll always represent it. You got my name, boy.
Yeah.
Use that name in a positive light, because if it's wrong, it's going to follow you. If it's right, it's going to glorify you.
Yeah. Listen, I'm totally out of time. And I want to say some things to you, and I want to say some things to you, to Ricky, and also to you. Here's what I want to say. We didn't bring Ricky on tonight. Some people think, I don't know where to get this from, that every show I do, I'm supposed to give you 3 takeaways. No, I'm not. Sometimes the takeaway is for you to listen to someone's heart, for you to hear someone's story, and for that story to inspire you to appreciate the people that are in your life. What you've seen tonight is courage on display. How you go from the darkness to triple darkness with hounds behind and still look for that great getting up morning. That's what he's doing. And I hope tonight that you've been inspired by him. I hope tonight that you've been encouraged by him. If you want a takeaway, here's your takeaway. When you've lost someone, when someone has died, just the way Ricky has had to do, all of us, we have to find the courage to decide that we honor the dead with the living of our life. Thank you, Ricky, for being on tonight. Listen, man, I'm going to keep you in my prayers. Go forward and keep doing your cancer awareness and keep making your mom proud, sir. When you stand in formations, make her proud because she stands with you. When we come back, we're going to do some Ask Dr. Sean right after this. Let's go to break. Hi, Lee. Welcome back, everybody. Listen, this has been a fantastic show. The subject obviously has been sad and took us into really sacred places, but sometimes you need to be in a moment of reflection and seriousness. And I'm really glad we had this conversation tonight. I'm really glad you got to meet Ricky. I'm really glad you got to see a black man strong enough to cry, strong enough to tell you about the mama he loves and the woman he lost. We just need to see more of this, you know what I'm saying? To appreciate our own complexity and our own greatness. So, with no further ado, let's do some Ask Dr. Sean. So Carla sent me a video. Let's take a look at it right now.
Hello, Dr. Sean. My name is Carla. I'm from the Bronx, and I'm currently healing from early childhood and adulthood traumas. I would like to know, what's the best criteria for deciphering between which friends deserve an explanation on newly set boundaries?
So, okay, let's do some basics before we get into your question. I'm hoping that because you seem to have a vocabulary for what you've been through. I'm hoping you got that because you're in therapy and counseling. So if you are not in that, get into it as soon as possible, okay? These videos, me answering your questions, are always wonderful. I try to give great advice. I try to give you wisdom, but I'm not doing counseling. This is not therapy. And when you've gone through childhood and adult trauma, you need to be in an ongoing process. As someone you see on a regular basis who can help you unpack, look at, deal with, and enter into a kind of philosophical calm about what you've been through. Because remember, the purpose of therapy is not to heal you. A lot of people think therapy is supposed to heal you. That's not the purpose of therapy. The purpose of therapy is to teach you how to live with what you've been through differently so that it doesn't destroy you, okay? and ruin other relationships that you would like to have flourish. All right. And when it comes to boundaries and friends, I will give you this advice. Always track how you feel, always track how people are making you feel, and always pay attention to people who keep brushing up against the boundary. Because he who brushes up against the boundary probably has no problem breaking through the boundary eventually. And whenever you've been really hurt, I mean really, really, really hurt, you've got to protect the sacred spaces of your heart with intentionality in ways that other people who don't know your pain will never have to do. And so just make sure as you decide which friends to let in and which friends to sort of keep at arm's length and which friends are respecting your boundaries, make sure that you are paying attention to what those relationships are producing in you. If you're more anxious around somebody, more fearful around somebody, then no matter how much they may be cute or how much you may like them or get from them, it's not worth what it's doing to you. So track the quantity and the quality of your own pain and your own discomfort. Watch people who keep brushing up against the boundary, because people who love you will stay away from the red line because they love you too much even to think about the possibility of dragging you into something that's going to make you feel horrible. And of course, make sure you are in an ongoing therapeutic process to reimagine and to restore the best of your life. I wish you well. I know you're going to be fine. Let's do another question. So, someone DM'd me this. My brother has always wanted me to be a lawyer, but he has failed the bar exam. Go back. Did I read that right? My brother has always wanted to be a lawyer. There you go. Reading is important, Dr. Sean. My brother has always wanted to be a lawyer, but he failed the bar exam 3 times. I honestly don't think he has what it takes to pass the bar or to be a lawyer. How do I encourage him to pursue a different career without crushing his dreams? Now this is touchy, right? You should have saw Steve over here. He was like, oh, glad it ain't me. Listen, I got some advice for you. You ain't gonna like it. You ready for this? You sitting down? Come on now, get your soul ready. I'm going to invite you to mind your damn business. Hey, glory. I felt it when I said it. I need you to stay out of his dream. If that's his dream, then let him dream that dream. Let him fail 16 times. You see, sometimes you're not supposed to let go of the dream until the dream lets go of you. And the dream hasn't let go of him yet. No matter what you say, he ain't going to hear it. Your job is to love your brother while he fails the bar, to love him while he's incompetent at trying to be a lawyer, and to love him until he changes his mind. But it's his mind to change and not your job to change it. Mind your business. Stay out of it. This is his journey. Let him have his failure. Sometimes life needs us to fail because we learn things with tears running down our eyes that we don't get to learn when we're standing on the stage with victory in our hearts. Let him learn his lesson. Let him see what he's supposed to see. Let him feel what he's supposed to feel. It's just a bar exam. He's not in danger. Now, if he was in danger, I'd give you different advice. I'd tell you to jump in and save his life because he's too stupid to save himself. But that's not what's happening here. He's just failing at the bar exam, okay? And as long as he's still working and still trying to put food on the plate and water in the cup and a roof over his head, then let him have his dream. He may be completely incompetent, but that's for him to discover. You follow me? And this is good advice, not just for your brother, but for if you have a husband or if you have whatever you have, significant other, or if you have children. Sometimes you have to let people find out what's supposed to happen for themselves. You know how many times, I got to take this break. You know how many times my mother saw me do stuff she knew I wasn't born to do? But she let me do it because I had to learn. I had to figure it out. That ain't what I'm supposed to do. And if she had stopped me, I would always have a part of my brain that said, I would have been good at that if I didn't listen to her. You don't want to be that person. You want to be the person that says, you know what, go on and do it. And when you're ready to do more, let me know. And if you always wanted to keep doing this, I'm here for you as well. Because that's what love does. Love waits. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not boastful. It is not envious. Love hopes all things. Love believes all things. Love withstands all things. Love never dies. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more Ask Dr. Sean. Welcome back, everybody. That last question got everybody in the studio talking. Nicole and I were talking, Steve-O and I were talking. Because one of the things we all were saying was, okay, what if the boy passes the bar the next time? What if he turns out to be a great lawyer? What if this kid turns out to ends up on the Supreme Court? You know what I'm saying? You never know what life and God and love will do. You cannot count people out simply because they're failing. If I'm failing, it doesn't mean that I failed. If I'm failing and I'm still trying, it means it ain't over yet. John F. Kennedy Jr. didn't pass the bar until his third try, people, okay? Woo, that's a good question. Anyway, let's take another look at a video right now.
Hello, Dr. Sean. My name is Meryl, and I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I've been a member of my church for a numerous amount of years, but recently my mother passed away, and I feel like I just haven't gotten that support that I need from my church. Should I remain a member, or should I move my membership to another church?
Great question. Yeah, these are good questions tonight, Steve-O. You know, pump it up, pump it up. Tanisha, Jocelyn, great job with these questions, man. I don't know where y'all get these questions from. Anyway, here's why the question is great, because I'm going to challenge you, sir. Okay, you ready? You were standing up when you made the video. I hope you're sitting down when you get the answer. Because you don't stay with churches and you don't join with churches because of how the church supports you. Not even when you're going through difficulties. Dr. Sean, how can you say that? Well, because the purpose of a church is to give you a level of spiritual growth and a level of maturity as it relates to moral instruction. If your church is bringing you closer to God, then that's the criteria of whether or not you should be at the church. If you can find God, hear God, meet God, feel God, have an encounter with God, have a revelation of God, that's the criteria. If you can't do any of that, then of course you can get the hell out of there as soon as possible. You better run. But if you are getting a manifestation and an encounter and you are giving a greater sense of God in that place, in spite of the people who did not support you when you did deserve to be supported, but that ain't the criteria for being there. Okay? Because churches are full of human beings. And human beings are going to disappoint you, including in church. You follow what I'm saying? Here's what I say to people. When your job disappoints you, you don't quit. You don't run out on your job because you need that paycheck. And you learn how to manage the disappointment and live with the disappointment, overcome it and ignore it. Why is it when it comes to church, as soon as church pisses us off, we get to run into the next one as if the next one's going to be any different than the one that we left? There's still human beings there. No matter where you go, you're going to find people. Fallible, foolish, fickle, fallen people. Silly people. Concupiscent people. Fallible people. People. Every church is full of people. And they didn't drop down out of heaven. They climbed up out of hell. Churches are not museums. They're hospitals. They're full of sick people. That's why they went to the church, because they were sick. And not all of us get delivered right away. Some of us, it takes us 20, 30 years to be transformed. So I'm disappointed in your church for not supporting you the way that you needed to be supported, but I'm not so sure your expectations were in line with what that support should have been. Don't avoid your grief by turning it into anger at the church that didn't support you. Because it kind of sounds like that might be what you're doing. Sit in the grief and mourn the one that you love. Because even if they had supported you 100%, it wouldn't change the loss. Even if they had been there, slept at your house and cooked your dinner and brought you pies and cakes every single day, it still would not have mitigated the pain or done anything to buffer the truth of the horror of what you've had to go through. Don't let your grief metastasize into anger and be misdirected at people who could not have changed the reality anyway. You lost what you loved. And what you loved you back. And let that be the thing that sort of pulls you forward. Don't leave your church because you're disappointed. Leave your church because you can't find Jesus and you can't hear from God. Here's my last question. I'm a single mother of 2 children, and I was recently promoted to a senior level manager at my job. I'm doing my best to be there for my children while also achieving my career goals, but I don't spend as much time with my children as I would like to. How can I find a work-life balance so I can be there for my children when they need me? Ooh, that's such a great question. I don't have a lot of time to answer it. Here's my answer. Don't try to do it by yourself. Okay? It takes a village, and so employ the resources of your village, your mom, your aunts, the people in your life that you can trust with your children, and empower them to help you with this. And here's the thing I always did, and I encourage you to do it, is talk to your children about how much you love them, how much you wish you could be there more, and get them to understand that your absence should not be equated to a negation of the love. Just because I'm not here all the time doesn't mean that I'm not always thinking about you. You follow what I'm saying? What we do as parents, we get so busy into doing. If I could just do more. And most of the time, all your children really need is a conversation. They just need you to tell them what's going on. And what I found out is that my son started rooting for me. When I was trying to build something and do something, and they knew I wasn't there, they started cheering for me, and they wanted to hear what I was doing, what I was working on, and we were able to tell our stories even though we had different experiences of the day. Talk to your children about what you hope for, what you wish you could do, and what you're trying to do for them. Then let them tell you how they feel, all right? This might be a great chance to have a new conversation with the people you love the most. And then get your mama to help you. Hey man, thank you for watching tonight. Thank you, Ricky. You guys are wonderful. I'll see you next time. Be good to each other. I love you.